Onstage, onstage with Jim and Tom. 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 Tom and Jim.
Tonight we welcome the Timothy O'Neill Band to the stage of the Phoenix Theater. Timothy O'Neill was previously on the program as a member of Frankie Boots and the County Line, but on this episode he takes center stage. Tonight we'll learn about the man behind the music as we sit down and talk with the band, and later we'll hear some of the very music that they create. Please welcome to the program the Timothy O'Neill Band.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Tom.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Boys. We're excited to be here.
I was thinking for tonight's episode, because you have been on the show as a support player, but tonight you're the man.
No, well, I'm just a man.
You're the force that pushes this band forward, I would imagine. Not only are you the principal songwriter, but also you're the person who is facilitating all of the stuff that the band does.
Right, sure. I manage the website.
Book the
I
shows,
do all the
typically.
booking.
Yep.
God, if anyone's out there and wants to do that for me or us, I'd really encourage it.
Do you have a tough time doing that and maintaining like what people would call like a normal life outside of that?
It is difficult. Yes, I guess. In some way, it is tough to... For instance, I didn't sign up to be a website designer. I didn't sign up to be a professional social promotion agent.
The reason I bring it up is because I know some people who maybe don't play music, but are independent contractors doing something, whether it's artistic or not.
Sure.
Tom, of course, manages the Phoenix. I got a handful of my things that I do. And it seems like to effectively do that, most people who don't do that don't have a full appreciation for just how much energy that takes and just what you are not including in your life in the interest of doing that. So I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
Absolutely.
It sounds like the writing of the music is not a problem for you. The performing the music is not a problem for you. You're happy to do those things. You would do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
Absolutely.
until you died. I think that aspect, though, is what causes people not to be in it for the long haul.
I think that's true. I think it's that, and then what's the answer to 99 questions out of 100? Money.
Yeah, well, that's an issue as well.
And it's just, I mean, ask yourself any question, literally anything, about anything. It's the answer comes down to money, and I think that it's I'm not here to. I know you're probably thinking of some question that doesn't have the
Does
arrival.
this look like a rash to you?
Do I want
Money.
chocolate
You need
ice
to
cream
fix
tonight,
that.
or do
Like,
I
you
want
need-
vanilla?
That's
You
gonna
need
cost
health
you.
insurance. You know?
Money.
Money.
I think it all comes down to, the idea is you want to be creative. You want to be as passionate as possible at your creativity and the art that you create, or about anything that you do. For instance, I spent some time in Japan that was very inspiring with my brother. I spent a month over there. He lived there for about a decade. And I learned a new way to look at anything. It doesn't matter if you are a janitor in Japan, you are the best janitor that I spent a minimal time in Tokyo, Okinawa, and Nagasaki, but I don't want to generalize the whole country, but it seems that the work ethic over there is much more, it doesn't matter what you do, you're the best at it, or you're going to strive to be the best at it. So even though it's kind of like taking off topic, but
No, this is perfect.
to come down to that area is, I don't know if I'm going to be the best booker. I don't know if I'm going to be the best website manager. I don't know if I'm going to be the best songwriter. I'm not going to be the best songwriter. Bob Dylan exists. I'm not going to be the fastest guitarist in California. I'm not. But I think the music that I've created has spoken for itself, and I try and be the best that I can be without letting my financial hurdles stop me, if that makes any sense.
Do you find that the financial hurdles sometimes motivate, though, too?
Yes.
Do you think that it would be problematic for you if you just happened upon $100 million inheritance?
Absolutely. I think I would. I think my music would go to... Wait, are we allowed to cuss on this?
Yeah, please.
Or I think our music would go to shit.
Yeah.
Or mine would. I think that there's definitely a very big difference between... I mean, I don't know everyone here's particular financial positions, but I do know that we all are not rich. And I have seen the way that these four guys, including me, treat the world, the people they're around, their social surroundings, people that are important, or maybe even not important. They treat them with respect, dignity, even if they're not happy with them. And I think that, and I'm making a giant generalization here, but I think when you grow up with, say, maybe $1 million in your bank account, let's call it that, you're a little bit less aware of your social surroundings in terms of trying not to be an asshole or not to piss someone off, or you're a little bit less likely to hold your tongue or learn how to behave in a social situation, as opposed to someone like all of us probably who don't have $1 million in the bank account waiting for us, who know that every action you do day to day is you're going to be held accountable for, and that's going to reflect on your character, and you want that character to develop so you can perform admirably as a human being in general. And then from there, you want to take that into your profession. And I feel that people, and I'm sorry to generalize people who've grown up with more money than I have. I'm sure there's some great folks out there, but I feel sometimes those are the most inconsiderate because they haven't had to, that whole like, oh, you're an asshole, well, you don't get the job.
Well, I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I mean,
You know?
not everybody is a certain way, but I think that there is definitely truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say, I was coming from a different direction. You do lose certain social skills you may have, which will then further you in terms of interacting with others
Sure.
and progressing in a world of people. If you
Right.
can't interact with people, then
Right.
you're not going to progress very far with people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have to do is like please people and
Sure,
meet people. And
sure.
I would say it's just like finding the purpose.
Mhm.
If you don't have to reach for something, you don't have to strive for it, then you tend to not to. So sometimes it's helpful to like ride that line of like not making yourself too comfortable. We've revisited this a bunch of times on the show, but it's always fascinating to me because you brought up money, and if it wasn't something you had to like reach for, you're trying to do music full time right now.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you didn't need to do it, I think you'd be less aggressive. And
Or
if you were less,
or excuse me.
Yeah, no, go
I hate
ahead,
to
go
talk
ahead.
over you.
No.
There's a lot of opportunities that have presented themselves where I'm like, oh man, I'm going to go out to Nevada and I'm going to play some solo shows. I'm going to just about break even with gas money and touring. I'm doing a solo show. I don't know where I'm sleeping. And then all of a sudden, Donner Pass is snowed in and I have to buy chains. And like, it's like, oh man, I went up to Nevada and lost $100.
you were a philosophy major in
Yeah.
college.
Yes.
If there's nothing that comes up, we can cut this out. But are there any like philosophies or philosophers or texts or life lessons, things that have served you well, things that you kind of reflect on, things that can be recently or they can be lifelong,
Mhm.
that, I don't know, inform the person that you've become?
That's a great question. I would say that, kind of like a million things have influenced me. Actually, the reason I studied philosophy was because of a book my father gave me when I was about 8. It was by the late, great Alan Watts. And it was called The Wisdom of Insecurity. And the thesis of the book itself and kind of Alan Watts, if you haven't heard of Alan Watts, look up Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, did a really, really interesting like a visual adaptation to some of Alan Watts' teachings. Or I shouldn't say teachings because they're just philosophical concepts. But it's generally, and I'm sorry for all you Alan Watts enthusiasts out there. I'm sorry, I'm going to bastardize
Okay,
it.
there's
but-
probably more people who don't know him, so this is good.
Okay,
We try
uh,
to go for the middle with this program.
Fair enough.
Not the extreme Alan Watt fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some guy just beating his head over,
Yeah.
wearing a helmet, beating himself with a hammer.
Yeah, this program is not for him.
Okay, fair enough. It's the idea that we as human beings, I think, are preparing so much for the future. When you grow up as a child, you're in elementary school, and you move to middle school, and you move to high school, and you're encouraged to go to college because if you don't go to college, you're going to be a fuck up. And then once you go to college, you're like, well, you're going to be a fuck up if you don't go to grad school. And then you get out of grad school, and then by the time you're 25, let's just call it then you get a job. And that's like, well, you want the promotion. And then you get the promotion. And then you realize that you got to make more money. And then you keep climbing this corporate ladder, and all of a sudden, you're dying. It's not about the beginning or the end. It's about the journey. It's the middle. I think Alan Watts, if I can remember, I'm paraphrasing here, but air quotes, in the search for a better future and a better understanding for the past, the human species has created an all too dim sense of the present. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that whole seize the moment, like you might get hit in the ass with a pie wagon type of thing. But I think that, I mean, you have to take that once again, or conversely, you have to take that a little, take it with a grain of sand. Like you obviously want to reflect, like we don't want to not think about the travesties of military. We want to reflect on backwards military actions in the past so we can learn from them. And we want to prepare for the future. But as humans, I think we lament so much about the past and prepare so much for the future that we're losing an all too dim sense of the present.
I have a question about the new album, which is called Tob. Well, T-O-B.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be Timothy O'Neill Band self-titled, or do we call it Tob?
I think we just call it Tob.
Tob?
Which is kind of like
T.O.B.
AFI, if you will.
Yeah.
But just less successful.
Well, currently. We'll see what happens.
Oh, the Days of the Phoenix, too.
Let's check back in 10 years. This is an album that you wrote the lyrics for.
Mm-hmm.
I could not find them online, so I wasn't able to like pour through them and like laser fucking in on
fair
like
enough,
this
fair enough.
seems like something that he
Good.
would want to talk about. But I am curious, since it is the most recent release, is there anything in that album, lyrically or experience-wise, that resonates strongly, that feels particularly important?
Yeah, and I knew this was going to come up. Actually, when I saw the 5 microphones, I was like, wow, this is going to come up. A long story short, my best friend that I played music with almost my whole life took his own life when he was 27 5 years ago. We were both 27. And he was my drummer. He was a great singer, helped me learn guitar. You know, in respect to his family, you know, I don't want to get into any specifics, but it was really tough for me to move on. I definitely started drinking way too heavily. I definitely turned to substance, as there's just a lot of pot and a lot of drinking, just trying to numb the pain. Luckily, I never got too far. I never got far into like hard drugs or anything like that. But the death of this man, Adam James, was instrumental to me pursuing music full time now. When I lost him, I had this like buoyancy issue, like whether I was going to sink or float. And I mean that in terms of life. I've never, you know, I mean, I don't know what I was thinking during those times. It was quite difficult, but more importantly, I think that he taught me that when you lose someone that talented to the world, or it's whatever the world puts you through, the idea that I'm still alive right now, like I have to go full forward. Like it was either, look, I'm going to stop and maybe I shouldn't be here either, or I'm going full force and I'm going to kick the world in its ass and play music in his honor and in his family's honor. And so that's one of the big things that the first song off the album, Dying Man, the whole album's about him.
It was really, I was living with Tim, and he would run lyrics by me, and he would tell me this thing happened, and you know, with this guy that we all knew, and he said, you know, this is coming up, and it was like watching it in real time. And Tim would write a song, and he'd run lyrics by me, and we'd go through rhyme schemes and work on it, and finish out a song. And then when we heard about Adam passing, we went out for a beer, and it was like one of the first things I asked you. We were like silent in the car, and I was like, so what do we do with all those songs? I was like, are you still going to release them?
He was supposed to drum for the new record. or our record that we.
And knowing that some of those songs were about him, I remember saying like, "Are you gonna axe those songs now? Like, is it appropriate to put those out?"
There's plenty of lyrics on that album that I gave you. Give 'em Guns is one. Dying Man's one.
That's all. Like, that's almost spooky.
Yeah, I know.
Give 'em Guns is
I
almost.
almost cut it.
I was surprised it ended up on the record.
What was spooky about that song, if you don't mind me asking?
The bridge. Give a man a gun.
Give a man a gun so he can start to breathe. Yeah, that was
It was
pretty.
before I had written those lyrics.
Waste your life with cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah.
Because he was calling you a lot, and he was struggling, and you were doing your best to support him. And you came to me once, and you were like, "Dude, I don't know how to support him."
But yeah, it was fucked up, man, and it was tough to like. It was a make it or break it situation, and it was like, look, you're either gonna be really upset about this and you're gonna be a philosophy major, you're gonna go pre-law, and you're gonna be a lawyer who blows your brains out at 50.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna fucking play music and get this out of your system.
Cool.
I remember that week because I had started playing with you guys around that time, and we had a show actually at Murphy's Irish Pub, and I can't remember if it was a summer day. I know that
It was the day after Adam had
yeah,
passed.
but like
Yeah.
Tough show.
it was
I
rough.
dressed in all black. I almost canceled the show, but
but
I was
like
broke.
I saw momentum and I saw a force. And this was me just like sitting in here and there. I hadn't learned all of the songs yet. I wasn't an official member of the band quite yet. And I saw this insane, like I can't even describe it, but like this momentum to just push through and just keep going. And I saw it mostly in Tim, but I also just up there on stage with Brian too. You know, that it was just kind of like, all right, he's steering the ship and we're moving forward. And, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do it if my best friend I would have been like, nope, we're canceling. I'm sitting at home. Yeah. Like I have to process this. So I have a huge amount of respect, and admiration for, Tim to kind of get through that in that way. You know, it's just,
Thanks, man.
yeah, of course.
It's a defining moment.
Yeah.
Well, it's a chapter point.
Shit or get off the pot at that point. It's like, I'm going to sit here at home and just be sad, or I'm going to powerhouse through it with what I know how to do, which is play music that I love with the best people I know.
Knowing Adam in whatever capacity that I did, he was Tim's like biggest champion. Like Adam loved the music that Tim wrote, and like if Tim stopped because of Adam, like it would have been the worst irony in the world. Like he would have wanted Tim to put that record out for sure.
Oh yeah.
You've experienced similar to what he experienced. I mean,
yeah.
how do you just square the circle in the moment when it happens? Aside from seeing him again,
we've
but-
discussed this
Yeah.
before. I have a different concept of death. I very much miss the people that are not around me that I loved so much that I've lost. But I don't believe in death. I think that we're the ones that are having the loss. I have a feeling there's other things going on, and God, it just keeps coming back to in Adam's case. It comes back to there was only one video game I ever played, and it was the Star Wars game because we've always had video games.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
The old one that's kind of
the old one.
pixelated.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. So anyway, that game I could play. I don't know why, but I could. And if I wasn't having a great game, kill it right there and start over again. And unfortunately, this is the concept that I have of what the life experience is.
Sure.
I'm having a damn good time right now, and I'm going to go forward with it. And I would never, it's not in me to end this game. But some of my friends have, and others have had it ended for them. But I just can't help believe that there's something else.
Does the album end? Well, I guess two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Does that album end on a lighter note? And well, you nod. So let's start with that. Does the album end on a lighter note?
Yeah. What's the last song on that guy? Or Irish Blessing?
Irish Blessing.
Yeah. So yes, it does. I think just as something finite like an album must. You don't want to leave someone just, well, shit.
And this album is very much in tribute to that person, correct? I mean
I mean, almost, to tell you the truth, almost every song that I've ever written has some sort of Adam behind it.
Yeah.
This is the first album that I've released since he passed.
So the new album, the material is written?
Oh, it's all written.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely written.
Just-
Every song that we played tonight is not on the record that has been produced.
Right.
Every song that we played is new.
Aha. Well, this is a special treat for Onstage with Tim and Tom. Listeners, do we deal with the same subject matter on this new album, or are we looking in another direction?
Just as a human being, I have moved a little bit in a different direction from the death of my friend, and it's much more about the celebration of life as opposed to death. I haven't been heartbroken in a couple years. I've had
that's
a very,
good.
very
So things are looking
successful
light.
woman.
Yeah.
Actually, I've kind of found myself at a writing, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm like, I've got a girlfriend. She's nice. She's wonderful. No one's died. What do I write about?
Right.
I'm not drinking as much anymore.
Well, places, it's funny because places encompasses so much, lyrically, about that kind of go get it attitude that we were talking about earlier, that DIY.
The places that we'll go,
Yeah.
the people that we'll meet. It's much more written about the travel that we've had as a band and the experiences that we've had.
It's an interesting thing because this episode will come out and it will be edited,
Sure.
and we spent quite a bit of time on your friend.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's entirely appropriate given the body of work that you've
Keep it
produced.
in.
Because
Just use your
no,
discretion.
No,
Yeah.
he'll be in, and this may be in too, because it seems like he lives in every release that you do, and a lot of he's probably with you every day.
He does, and he is.
But it's also pretty special to sit here with you guys and have you be on the precipice of a new album, which is going to kind of look at maybe a different side. Not everything is tragic.
Right.
A lot is.
Right.
but,
Right.
But there are good things, and some of those
There's
things.
no sweet without the sour. There's no sour without the sweet. you
Yeah.
know?
So it's exciting to sit here with you guys as you're kind of on the eve of this new album, and things are feeling kind of okay.
Yeah. Things are feeling great. We're on the precipice of greatness right
Yeah.
now. I'm excited.
Tom, do you have any closing thoughts for the Timothy O'Neill Band experience?
Yeah, I think that should be their next album is the Sweet and Sour Timothy O'Neill.
I thought you were going to say the precipice of greatness.
No, I kind of like the whole sweet and sour thing.
I mean, who knows?
It's going to be called All Hands on Deck.
It was really good to have you back on the show,
Yeah.
and get to know you more personally. Because
Thank
before
you.
you kind of supported your friend's vision,
Sure.
and now tonight,
Yeah,
we were
we-
highlighting yours. So that was very special. And
Thank you for having me
and
and,
I-
us. I appreciate that.
And I just appreciate you just kind of being so open and being ready to share. Because
hey, man, let's hang out. We have a beer. I'll do the same thing. Yeah.
Good, and there won't be as much pressure too to produce something that's fit for public consumption. but we do appreciate that you guys were here.
Yeah,
thank you.
And
Thank you, guys,
the interview
yeah.
is now over, and in just a moment we're going to hear the reason why we all gathered, which is your music. So
Awesome.
Timothy O'Neill Band is going to play some music for us. Thanks again,
Great
everybody.
stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Yeah.
I'm heading down a road I've been 1,000 times or more. It's the only road that I will ever know. When the icy hands of death slip them fingers around my neck, go on and tell your Lord I'm finally headed home. And I'll be singing, gotta believe me, darling, gotta believe in honey, gotta believe that I'm searching for home. Build a home in the mountains, build a home by the sea. Babe, I'll build us a home just to know what home means. I'm a railroad spike, you see, on a train before you leave. Honey, them the only tracks you're gonna ever know. And when the fiery hands of death come a-steaming round the bend, go on and tell your Lord I'm finally headed home. I'll be singing, you gotta believe me, darling. Gotta believe in honey. Gotta believe that I'm searching for home. Build a home in the mountains. I'll build a home by the seas. Babe, I'll build us a home just to know what home means. Giving up on indifference, I'm giving in to the wind. I'm giving up on solidarity, I'm giving up on looking in. Build a home in the mountains, I'll build a home by the seas. Babe, I'll build us a home just to know what home means. Gotta believe me, darling. Gotta believe in honey. Gotta believe that I'm searching for home. Build a home in the mountains. I'll build a home by the sea. I'll build a home in the projects. I'll build a home in the streets. Build a home with cardboard boxes. I'll cut the edges with my teeth. Babe, I'll build us a home just to know what home means. All hands on deck, boys. It's been a long time since you set your sights, so set your feet on land. All hands on deck, boys. It's been a long time, and I'm so sad to say we must set sail again. It wasn't long ago, just a story to be told. I took my crew to sail the seven seas. Yeah, the mermaids and the albatross, they brought me to my knees. But those deckhands, they brought me to believe, saying the sea is just a lie. But then again, so am I. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. Set your sights, so set your feet on land. All hands on deck, boys. It's been a long time. Not so sad to say we must set sail again. Well, I still remember well that old familiar smell beside an hand is trident in the sky. Raise the anchor, set your course, and set a course for hell. Every man aboard, prepare yourself to die. I see a storm across the bow. No one can help us now. sights, all set your feet on land. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. And I'm so sad to say we must set sail again. Every man aboard has a heart of gold. That's why I won't let him drown. That's why I can't let him go. This is all I've grown to love. In hell, it's all I've ever known. This is my crew. So we put our sea legs on and we set a course for dawn. This isn't what we love, it's what we do. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. Since you set your sights, or set your feet on land. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. And I'm so sad to say you must set sail again. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. Since you set your sights, or set your feet on land. All hands on deck, boys, it's been a long time. And I'm so sad to say you must set sail again. This ain't for money, this sure ain't just for show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This here's for whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. Bring the pistols, I give them guns. Show me where you're headed and I'll tell you where I'm from. I like to think that you know we can groove. There ain't no telling what my band can do. Please hold my waistcoat, I got some money. Unfinished business, I gotta find someone. That someone said that he had nothing to lose. I saw a pocket watch, a wallet and booze. And we sing, this ain't for money and this sure ain't just a show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This is a whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. Let's have some fun. We'll have a bender and drinks on everyone. I like tobacco, women, work and booze. I'm into outer space and having nothing to do. When we sing, this ain't for money and this sure ain't just a show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This is the whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. This future blowing in the wind. There's pretty women dolled up and drinking gin. This here's a sing-along for all you folks who know the places that we've been and the places that we go. When we sing, this ain't for money and this sure ain't just a show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This is a whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. This ain't for money, this sure ain't just for show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This is for whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. Come on! This ain't for money and this sure ain't just for show. This one's for the places that we've been and that we'll go. This is for whiskey and this one's for my soul. This one's for my pickup truck that makes the road my own. woke up this morning, tossing and turning, daylight breaking through my window, and I was dreaming of locomotives, $2 bills I could never hold on to, till that sunshine opened my eyes, put my boots on, I stumbled outside. The air was crisp upon my face, forgot how much I really love this place, forgot how much I really love this place. Oh, Carolina, I miss you. Ride me back home, send a picture, a locomotive. No, it don't exist. A steaming engine's just a stolen kiss. A steaming engine ain't no stolen kiss. These pools of whiskey, they compound me, drag me downtown as night surrounds me. The air's still crisp upon my face, forgot how much I really love this place, forgot how much I really love this place. Oh, Carolina, I miss you. Riding back home, send a picture, a locomotive. No, it don't exist. A steaming engine's just a stolen kiss. A steaming engine ain't a stolen kiss. A picture, a locomotive. No, it don't exist. A steaming engine, just a stolen kiss. A steaming engine ain't a stolen kiss. A steaming engine ain't no stolen kiss. A steaming engine ain't no stolen kiss.